I know I've kind of got off the point here. When I became deaf at the age of 10, people wanted my family out of the church. Because they had this idea that I was sick, and that meant that there was something wrong and God had punished me. And they really didn't want God to punish them for allowing me to stay in the church. So, yeah, isn't that nice? It was very fun. Yeah, go ahead.
You need divorce.
No.
I asked if the parents left the church. I'm sorry.
That's okay. We forget.
No. Did my mom and dad leave the church? No. No, they stayed. Remember, they wanted to be connected to that group, and oh, and they wanted to stay on the compound. And that God was involved in that place, so people really revered it. So if they believed that they stayed there, that they would be accepted by God. So my parents, my friends' parents, they all believed. They all believed that they were doing the right thing. They really believed they were. So we discussed it. I mean, nowadays we discussed it, and I've asked them why did they stay, and really my parents were young also, and they joined the churches when when my mom was 20, when they were 20. So their friends were there, they grew up there. My parents are still friends with those people that they were in the church with, so it's really not as simple as it is. They believed in the Bible's teaching. And it was really political bullshit, that everything that happened around it. So it was more political problems than really the Bible's teachings there. Okay, did you all get that? So it was really connected and strongly related to the Bible, but it was the political stuff that was really corrupt, not the teachings from the Bible. There were some positive things of the church. It was a wonderful program. Sports. They had wonderful sports programs there. They had wonderful sports programs. They had tournaments and games every weekend, and it was just wonderful. They had Bible study for the kids and dancing. And it was a lot of fun. They still had, there was a good connection. There was a good social connection with all the families there, and still. Sabbath. Sabbath. They had the Sabbath, they held the Sabbath day holy. They were really strict about that. Friday night to Saturday night. From the minute that the sun went down, there was no work, no play, no TV, no talking with people outside of church. You couldn't read books, anything. Nothing. You had to just sit there and read the Bible and, talk with your family or people in the church, and that was it. It was really strict. And that also meant that kids couldn't play basketball, they couldn't play the football. And typically, kids want to do that on Fridays, so it was just kind of like, you were stuck. They didn't allow us to go to the prom because either it was on Friday night, or if it was Saturday, you had to take somebody from the church. You couldn't take anyone that was outside of the church. It was forbidden. You were not allowed to even think of dating outside of the church. If you did, you were thrown out. Yeah, just like that.
Your brother?
That is anything. Jesus.
When you went to the prom, did you ever date someone before you went to the prom?
Yes. I took Colleen's boyfriend. He was special. I was special because I was deaf. So they gave me special treatment. Some of the rules, and my parents, to be honest, they were good church members. I love my parents. They followed the Bible teachings. And they were not allowed to socialize outside of the church.
And they had to follow.
And they had to follow,
And it was really
and they
stupid.
follow all the rules and were really stupid.
You said before they wanted to kick you out when you became deaf. How did your parents avoid that? How were you able to stay in the church? Do you know? Well, yeah.
Because I was,
It wasn't because,
it wasn't because I was deaf or sick.
it was because I got sick.
It was because I got sick.
How my parents
How my
dealt with it.
How my parents dealt with it, I'm not sure. I think someone higher up
No, don't.
said, no, don't do that. So the positive things were that they had good sports, they had friends. The church
They would go on vacation.
would go on vacations
Every day.
to Florida, to California, all the different places we chose to go. And I said bye to my friends and I'm going to Florida. 1986, Herbert died,
He was a leader.
and then he was the leader of the church,
And his son's name.
and his son's name,
I
I
can't
can't remember, but he took over,
remember.
and he started to change. I was excited.
He said birthdays were
He said birthdays were okay, makeup was okay. And I went to Gallaudet Church.
This one was destroyed.
It was destroyed. It blew up. Okay, so Christmas is fine now.
God doesn't mind.
God doesn't mind. Everything for the church was going south.
Church is in your mind. That's
The church is in your mind.
It's not a place.
It's not a place.
Some things just change
So
dramatically.
things just changed dramatically.
Every
Can you give her a place to go back to?
Church was in your mind, is what she said.
Can you guys be voicing that, please? I totally forgot.
it's
I
best
don't
now
know
if we
what
just switch.